Couple things, people. Happy Saturday. Watching some college football, you understand. Oklahoma and Texas. Shout out to all the YouTubers pirating uh, football. Anyway, real quick, I want to talk about something um, happiness, fulfillment, things of that nature. Topics, especially as it relates to those specifically, um, things that I'm lacking in my current life. I'm very unfulfilled, very unhappy in a lot of ways. And the irony in that is that I have achieved everything that I thought would make me happy. Um, as I mentioned in my last stream yesterday, again, shout out to consistency, shout out to action, shout out to starting where you are with what you have currently, which is a testament to why I'm here currently. Is those simple concepts of taking action, of starting, and not overthinking it, but just doing the thing, just doing the action, and breaking it down to small little actions until you're at a level small enough where it seems doable, doable. Um, but as it relates to the topic at hand, I've ran out of options, and it sounds weird because I've always made options my goal. I wanted options. I want better options. I wanted bigger options. I wanted more higher quality options. And I'm currently at a place where I've hit a stalemate. Hit a stalemate. When I was 23, it's roughly 10 years ago. I'm 33 now. I set out. It was when I first joined the Air Force in around 2016 or so. And once I was in the Air Force, once it kind of wore off, the new car smell. Once I got out of tech school, basic training tech school, got to my first duty station, and you get into the job, and you're in the job, you're doing the actual job, and you see what the real Air Force is like. And my whole big thing was I want to get into the Air Force. I want to live this whole lifestyle that I had envisioned. Once you get there, you realize it's not all that. You realize it's still missing something. And so, of course, I set goals. I'm like, all right, my goal now is to leave the Air Force and not have to work. And I embark on the YouTube journey. And of course, YouTube was the last thing to take off. It still has. I mean, I'm doing well, but YouTube was not. It wasn't the thing that took off that allowed me to live this goal of mine as far as not having to work. And so now I find myself in a place where I don't have to work. I'm living my dream. I'm living my goals. The goals that I set out 10 years ago, I'm now in them. I'm now in them. And it's very unfulfilling. It's actually kind of sad, to be honest with you. It's depressing, borderline miserable. Now, the issue with making those statements and those claims is that there are people right now who would love to trade places with me. When I was 23, I would look at people, I'm like, yo, how are they unhappy? They have everything that I want. They have the lifestyle, they have the women, they have the friends, the money, the houses, the cars, they have everything that I desire. How are they unhappy? How are they committing suicide? How are they on medication? Why are they on drugs? Why do they have all these addictions? What is the issue? And the sad part is that I've kind of entered that same place currently, where you think, if I reach this, if I get this girl, if I get many girls, if I get money, if I get more money, if I get this house, if I get to travel the world, if I get to live a life that only my ancestors could possibly dream of, as far as not having to work and waking up on your own paradigm, waking up and doing exactly what you want to do every single day with no repercussions, no restrictions, no limitations, no supervisors. I'm now in that place. And I've realized, and I was sitting on the couch earlier, contemplating going live and fighting my own demons as far as consistency and should I go live today and all these things. What's going on, William? I realize is that there's one thing I haven't tried yet fully. I haven't tried yet fully, and it's God. Because every other goal that I have set, I've achieved, and I'm still unhappy. I believe it was Modern Wisdom, the YouTube channel. The gentleman that runs that channel, he asked a simple question. He was like, if you are unhappy now after achieving all your goals, especially the ones that you thought were unreachable. I'm streaming right now from Costa Rica. It's raining outside. Balcony doors open. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Watching college football. I had to go walk down the street, get some steaks for dinner. And I'm like, if you achieved your goals and you're still unhappy, what makes you think that setting new and bigger goals will make you happy? And I struggle with that question because I'm living it currently. And I find myself setting even more and more and bigger and astronomical goals because, of course, if I have more money, then I'll really be happy then. And somehow it'll just click all of a sudden that once I have more money, once I have more options and better options and even more options, and once I have community, once I have friends, once I have a perfect church situation, once I have a job I can play piano at, and things of that nature, I keep setting bigger and bigger goals, thinking that they will make me happy. And the goals that I'm living in currently, the achieved goals, mind you, I'm still unhappy. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she was talking about going on fast and seeking God and what have you. And I find myself leaning towards her position in terms of if my fulfillment and my happiness did exist, who would I ask for it? Where would I seek for it if it did exist? And being that I'm currently in a place where I've tried everything else, within reason, of course. This is a wisdom channel. We study wisdom. We're obsessed with wisdom, and in most cases, I, I prefer God's way and God's wisdom and all these things. But I have yet to seek Him directly for my purpose, for my direction, for my fulfillment, for my happiness. This won't be a long stream. Um, the purpose of the stream is really to exercise consistency. But I did want to share the idea of seeking God for your fulfillment, for your purpose, as someone who's living in their achieved goals. Again, I'm in Costa Rica. Again, beautiful weather. It doesn't get above like 75 degrees. It's been raining all day. It's my perfect climate, perfect weather. I don't lack anything. I don't lack money. My bills are all paid on the first. I have leftover money. If I wanted to indulge in drugs, I could. Weed store right down the street. I just hop in an Uber, pull up. Bro, let me get 7 grams of them things. You understand? I don't lack anything. I have more than enough money to buy food, order Uber Eats every day if I want to. I live in a high rise overlooking the beautiful city of San Jose, Costa Rica. If I wanted girls, strip club right down the street. They're also in my same building. They're right downstairs. They're at the gym. They're everywhere. They're online, on the dating apps. I don't lack anything. At some point in your level, in your pursuit of maturity, you realize that the things you have still aren't enough. And the pain, that hole that you have, that lacking that you're feeling, it won't be fulfilled by things of this world. And I've hit that wall, unfortunately. It's sad. But I still have hope. I still have hope. And it's what I'm going to be pursuing in the near future, if not starting today. I started a couple days ago, really, but in terms of tangible effort, it's what I'll be pursuing as far as pursuing God and what He wants for me. Because it's my only option left. It's my only option left. William in the chat saying, Matthew 12:26, for what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world, wealth, fame, success, but forfeits his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? That scripture haunts me. Furthermore, he writes, the Blue Letter Bible website, the interlinear breakdown gives a lot of insight. But man, you made it outwardly, but you have to go inward, or within rather. 100%. 100%. There's still a lot more money to make. Right now, I have a savings consists of 100% of Bitcoin. I'm not diversifying in that way. I have a savings account full of Bitcoin. I have a checking account full of fiat currency in US dollars. I have a wallet full of Dominican pesos, Colombian pesos. Uh, I forgot what the currency called here in Costa Rica, but I have a wallet full of currency, fiat currency. I have enough money. I have friends. Even in this building, I have friends that speak English that I can talk to and spend time with. I have options. And I've spent my entire adult life, more specifically starting at around 23 years old, pursuing options and more options and better options and more options and which option gives me more options and which decision can I make that gives me more and better options. And I find myself back at square one, still unhappy, still searching, still unfulfilled. And as William alluded to, yeah, you, you will reach a point where you have all the things, all the stuff. And if you're rational, if you have any type of foresight, you'll realize that more stuff is not going to work. It's not going to fix what's ailing me. The pain, the depression, the anxiety. Weed, I'm telling you, it works temporarily. It's an amazing sensation of everything's funny, everything's, it soothes that part of your stomach where, you feel the anxiety, the butterflies, whatever analogy you want to use. And it soothes that temporarily. But there comes a point where the weed stops working and you need more. You need more. And then you got to re-administer. You got to get something stronger. And then you find yourself wondering, all right, will a different drug work? Do I need to get something stronger? Do I need to get something that will take over my entire body? I've heard countless interviews of people describing the various drugs that they've been addicted to and how it feels like it's just a huge, warm blanket, warm hug engulfing their body. And of course, that appeals to me. I'm like, what if I had that? Would that soothe my body, soothe my mind? And I know it won't. I know it won't. We're at the 12-minute mark. I just want to share that idea with you, that concept with you, that situation I'm currently in. I know a lot of people, might look at my position and like, if God would just test me with more money and test me with a full day, a full 24 hours to do whatever I want. I find myself waking up at 4 in the morning, most mornings, or around 4, 3:30, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and wondering how can I get myself to sleep longer so my day is shorter, so I don't have to think of ways to fill my day with something. Just a couple years ago, I was dreading going to work, dreading cubicles, dreading seeing the people I work with, dreading supervisors, dreading my troops, dreading PT. And I said, if I could just wake up one day with nothing to do, nowhere to be, I could just do whatever I want, I will be happy then. And then I'll be happy. It's not true. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the things that we truly want, we can't buy. Community, people, relationships. We can't buy it. Soul Shade in the chat. What's good, my brother? Go Rim. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you. William says, congratulations on what you've done. That realization you're getting now is just the expected phase of growth for depth and real freedom in Christ. It's funny you mentioned the word freedom. A lot of people think that escaping the 9 to 5, I'm like, if I can just get out this 9 to 5 foolishness, then I'll be happy. And it's a different kind of demon that you deal with. It's a different type of pain, of not knowing what your enemy is, or who your enemy is, not knowing where the pain's coming from. You just feel unsettled. I wake up, a perfect example, this morning, I promise you, I woke up at 4 a.m., remembering that last night I planned, I'm like, all right, I'm going to sleep in. It's Saturday. I'm going to watch college football. I'm watching it now. I don't know what's going on with Texas and Archie Manning. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing what's going on with Manning, what have you. But anyway, I had planned on sleeping in so I can make my day shorter. I've already gone to the gym. I've already cooked breakfast, made like 10 eggs, went crazy, understand? I'm on my 3rd cup of coffee. And I sit on my recliner, balcony door open, watching college football. And I'm like, I have nothing to do. I don't have any problems. I don't have any pain outside of the lack of fulfillment. I don't have anything on fire to eradicate. I'm in school now, going to American military university, not the most prestigious of institutions, but it's something because I'm like, again, my friend was like, yo, do something, do something. You got too much time on your hands. And because I study wisdom, I know I can't get into everything. I know some things are immediately fatal, some things hurt you. You know, curiosity killed the cat. You know, all these different slogans that come to mind. You know, idle minds, the devil's workshop. There's a lot of truth to that. But I'm wise enough to realize I just need to get somewhere and sit down. But while I sit in peace, it's peaceful. It's so peaceful. It's so quiet. There's no dogs barking. There's a light, faint scent of traffic outside. The rain soothes my person. I got jazz playing in multiple rooms. I clean until I run out of things to clean. My place is spotless. And I find myself in a place where I have nothing to do, no problems to solve. And the only thing left to check in terms of boxes is asking God what He wants me to do, how He wants me to do it, where He wants me to do it. I've seen enough countries this year. Next month, it will be a full year, mind you, of living outside the United States. A full year. If I had told my 23-year-old self that, right, if you just wait 10 years, you'll be able to travel what's been mostly South America, Central America, and the Caribbean as much as you please. I've gotten tired of airports. I remember distinctly getting off work, especially in Andrews Air Force Base, walking out of the Jones building around 5, 6 p.m., you know, getting off work late, got some extra work, you know, to do. And I would see planes flying overhead as I'm walking to my car. And I would tell God, I want to fly. I want to fly. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, Loadmaster. Like, give me a job in the Air Force where I can fly to different countries and see the world. And He gave me something better. He gave me early retirement and the ability to travel as much as I please. As much as I please. To the point where I've grown tired of airports. Airports used to be I used to love the idea of going to the airport and just going there 4 hours early, getting my coffee, editing videos, just sitting there and people watching. People watching. And now the idea of the airport just drains me. It's something my next flight will most likely be in February of next year because Costa Rica gives you 180 days of tourism. And so to those, and by no means am I talking down to anyone, at least that's not my intent. But I know there's a lot of people who are working 9 to 5s. Today's Saturday, in 2 days, or 1 day rather, people will be going back to work. And some people, they're working today, some people are working tomorrow. And they look at a person like myself, and I'm like, yo, how is he complaining about not having to work? How is he complaining about all his bills being paid and he does not have to lift a finger to earn that money? His quality of life has improved and he's working less, if at all. He's working less. He's leveraged his GI Bill, his VA disability, his YouTube channel, Bitcoin investments, you understand? How is he complaining? Woe to them who complain about what God blessed them with. Woe to them who complain about things that they prayed for. I prayed for this. I prayed for this, and now I find myself complaining. God, just send me a girl, and then He does. God, if you just give me, I learned how to manage my money this past year while traveling. I learned how to manage my money while traveling the world, and now it starts accruing, and you start getting better, quality, in terms of my accommodations. Now I'm able to afford things that by God's grace, been able to kick the weed addiction, the nicotine addiction. I still want it. Trust me. I still want it. I'm in the best shape of my life, best financial shape of my life. and I'm still unhappy. And I find myself ashamed to admit it because I understand that a lot of people would kill to be in this position. And I look at the people above me, the Tom Brady's, the LeBrons, the rich people, the people that I admire. I'm like, oh, they just swipe a card and solve problems. Like before they become problems, like, they just swipe. I'm like, well, when they go to the airport, it's to a private jet. They're driving onto the tarmac. I'm like, what if I had that? Then I'll be happy if I could drive onto the tarmac instead of the airport. Instead of Ubers, I get my Uber X, or instead of Uber X, I just buy whatever car, or just lease whatever car, or rent whatever car. I'm ashamed to admit that I'm still unhappy. I'm like, how selfish? How selfish could you be? I've spent time in third world countries where there's trash everywhere. One of the number one things I love about Costa Rica is that it's clean. It's nearly spotless here. It's spot. You walk the streets and there's just no trash to speak of. I thoroughly enjoy that mentally. My nervous system appreciates that to the point where I find myself asking AI, "Why is it so clean here?" To make sure policy and rain and various other variables. But yeah, I find myself ashamed to admit that I'm still unhappy. I want more. I'm like, bruh, will anything satisfy you, Ray? Will anything satisfy me? Is there any point in my adult life where I'll be grateful, satisfied, content with what God's blessed me with? And it's unfortunate. It's a blessed position to be in. It's a highly favored position to be in. There are people working 14, 16-hour shifts, and I'm sitting here on my couch scrolling, trying to manufacture dopamine via my phone. I have two phones. Again, just blessed. A friend bought me a MIDI board. Now I have a keyboard wherever I go now. Like, what else is there? I'm thinking about buying a PS4, PS5 to take up more time in my day so I can have something to do. A little Black Ops 3, you know. It's the only game I want to play. Black Ops 3, maybe a little GTA. But other than that, like, I'm not even a video gaming guy. Like, I was playing fishing games on my laptop. I was on Steam. You know it's bad when I'm on Steam playing games on a Mac. It's a very unfortunate place when you get everything you've ever wanted, and even more than you've ever wanted. I heard a quote that said, "Stop being upset when your plans don't, you know, when you don't accomplish your plans the way you wanted to, because now God's in a position to exceed your plans." God exceeded all my plans. My goal was to work in the Air Force and work in a job where I could travel as much as I want. And God said, "Forget the Air Force. You can just travel the way, just travel. Go, go. You got a passport? Go." And now I'm living it. I'm living it. And I'm still asking for more. I'm like, God, if you just give me, a couple $1 million worth of Bitcoin, then I'll be happy. It's not true. There are levels to loneliness that I've discovered, especially while traveling, that like, all right, what if I can just fly my friends in with me and then like pay them to be my friend and pay them to spend time with me, and then any girls out that I want to be with, I'll just pay them as well, just whatever, local market here. I'll just pay some local girls to be my friend and touch my purse and all these things. It's so unfulfilling when you realize money can only buy so much. I'm blessed, I'm favored, I'm grateful, but I'm still empty. I'm still empty. William says, I think you should really dive into this because the next wave, a lot of people will have this exact problem with UBI hits, universal basic income for those who are uninitiated. You're really a forerunner to what happens when needs met and comfort hits. That's facts. That's facts. And as someone who used to, work a ton and work around the clock and show up early and leave late and work out before work and have my morning schedule so I can get all my things out the way. So once I'm at work and I can finish what I have to do at work, and I can go home and just Netflix and chill and just relax. And now I have my entire day. You realize that comfort is painful, especially as a man. Like, I have testosterone. I practice sexual purity. Not perfectly, mind you, but enough to where I have surplus of energy, to where I wake up early for no reason. I'm still on a military schedule. I wake up at around 4, sometimes 3:30 a.m., and I can't go back to sleep. I'm just up, full of energy, and nowhere to put it. I can only clean so much. The place is spotless. Like, I digress. One thing I will mention is that I thought community was the thing I was missing as well. I thought, all right, if I just go to church and I have friends and I have a girlfriend and all these things, I've had them all. I've had them all. I've had them all. Still unhappy. Still depressed. Still addicted to drugs. Trying to numb the pain. And the issue with drugs is that when you numb the pain, you also numb the good. I wish someone would get the bugs out of the drugs and like, can we just numb the bad only? And leave me the good to experience? I'm like, that's not how that works. When you numb the bad, you numb the good as well. And you're stuck with it. Because some addictions aren't as easy to get to remove. Like, some addictions come and they stay permanently. I'm blessed to be able to walk away from a drug that I love. And I still think about it. I ordered a vape yesterday, and the only reason why it canceled on Uber Eats was because they didn't have the one I wanted. And so I canceled the order. Sometimes God works in mysterious ways. But when I tell you, I still want the drugs because I still want to try to numb this. So I can at least be in comfort body-wise. I don't want to feel pain no more than anyone else does. And it seems that the more successful I am and the more wise I become and the better decisions I make, my money keeps increasing, my health keeps increasing, my body fat keeps decreasing, my pain keeps decreasing, but only in certain areas. There's a certain pain over here that I can't fix. So, a lot of you know the reason why I left the Air Force, for multiple reasons, but the main reason, the primary reason, was anxiety and depression, and some PTSD. All diagnosed by a doctor and their infinite wisdom, what have you. I've been on Zoloft. I've tried prescription drugs. I've tried recreational drugs, and that's kind of been the extent of my exploratory problem solving. But now I find myself in a place where I'm like, all right, I don't got nothing else to try. Nothing else that's not going to hurt me, permanently. I don't have anything else to try, and so I'm trying God at this point. I'm trying God. Now, the reason why I talk about all this is because I know a lot of you have a lot of similar goals that I have. Hence, you following this channel. If you even care what I mean, 3 people watching, appreciate y'all. William, Soul Shader, all the people in the chat. I appreciate y'all. And I understand that a lot of people are ahead of me, in terms of maturity and wisdom. And that might be why you're drawn to this channel, is that you kind of see my growth over time. And some people are behind me in terms of you have the same goals I had. I'm like, if I just get enough money and enough time and enough. And then once you get it, it's tough. Sound like gunshots. But yeah, I do want to share the idea and the concept with you of going back to the source before it's too late. Because again, this lifestyle would be perfect if I was happy. If I was fulfilled, if I didn't have the pain in my stomach, the dread of waking up and knowing I have nothing to do. I've already gone to the gym. I played basketball already today. I've played basketball today already. Listened to 2 podcasts already. Audiobooks. I walked 12 flights of stairs already. And I'm like, all right, well, what else is there, man? As much as I love options, I'm now in a place where I realize I don't have any other options left outside of God. And it's scary asking God what he wants you to do because it may be something you don't want to do. I relate to Jonah a lot. as far as you probably know he's going to make you go do something you don't want to do, and like for people that probably don't deserve it in your opinion, and like I don't want to do it over there because it's trash and it's not as beautiful and the climate it's dusty, and but I want to be happy. I want to feel fulfilled. I want this pain in my stomach, this dread of trying to make TikTok expand an entire day in my waking hours. It's not working. And so why not go back to the manufacturer and ask them why their product's not working? Why not? 30-minute live stream. I've checked the box already. I'm proud of myself. Proud of myself. Yesterday, again, I just want to touch on that real quick. I talked about action. Small, consistent actions being the kryptonite to depression. And it works, but only to a certain point. Only to a certain point. Hence the topic today of still being unhappy, still being unfulfilled, still searching, even while being consistent, even while being disciplined, even while accruing the results of making wise decision making. There's still parts of you that will still be empty. And that's where I'm at. So yeah, I just want to share the idea with you, little concept, the idea that maybe we should go back to God, especially before we're successful, while we're successful, after we're successful, in earthly terms and definitions. You know, I still want more money. I still want more options. I still want better options, but I don't want them at the cost of my happiness and my fulfillment. In a lot of ways, I almost feel like I'm in the same place I was in the Air Force. Like nothing's changed outside of my environment. My body, my mind is still here. The same Ray that was in the Air Force is still here. In terms of there's something missing. Something missing. Who we got in this chat, man? Who we got in this chat? William says you need a worthy fight or something to build. Pain is often the way. When I tell you, I talk to ChatGPT, and that's a whole other issue as far as talking to ChatGPT about stuff. I think I posted this on Twitter. How often do we ask AI, artificial intelligence, what we should do instead of asking God? I'm guilty of that. I was like, AI responded with, "Oh, you're a natural problem solver. You're a natural optimizer. You're a naturally born engineer. You're a builder. You're an optimizer. You're a composer." I'm like, I knew all this stuff, bro. Give me direction. Tell me what to do. It can't. It can't. William continues, your gut talking to you, bro, or you may need deliverance. Ivory Hopkins is pretty good. Ivory Hopkins. Not sure what that is. Nancy says, only God can fill the God-sized void within us. Matthew 16:26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? It's the second time that scripture's been mentioned in this chat. So shout out to Matthew. Shout out to the Bible. Shout out to scripture and the word. The word. It's a YouTube channel. Got you. Shout out to y'all in the chat for the reminder. It's something you know in the back of your head of like, all right, you've been pursuing stuff and things, knowing it's not going to work. And then you still pursue it, knowing it's not going to work. I ordered a vape yesterday, think it's going to work. It's not going to work. Let me buy some weed. Let me buy a couple grams, take the edge off. It's not going to work. Let me go to a doctor and get prescribed Zoloft. It doesn't work. It does not work. I'm talking about long term. It does not work. You have to increase the dose constantly. It's just another drug. It's a different drug. The drug dealer is switching costumes. White coat, sweatpants and a t-shirt. It's the same thing. So you guys have hit the nail on the head as far as pursuing the things of this world and trying to solve a spiritual problem that only God can solve. He designed you, so why would he have the solution? The one person that could patch the bugs in my life is the original software engineer. William says, I appreciate the real convo, though. It's real, bro. That's facts. So, yeah, I just want to leave that with y'all. I know a lot of you may be trending in the same direction that I'm at currently, or you might be ahead of me. And you might, who knows? But the solution is not in stuff. It's not in things. It's not in people. It's not in this world. It's in God. And so that's where I'll be pursuing um, my fulfillment in the foreseeable future, if not immediately, is in terms of seeking God, asking God, fasting, praying, asking God what He wants from me. Why can't I be at peace? Like, well, whatever He wants at this point, just tell me. Just tell me. Just tell me so I can at least be in disobedience and start running away like Jonah, so He can send an oversized fish to devour my person. Anyway, Texas still struggling. I don't know what our Arch Manning, this whole thing. But yeah, appreciate y'all coming through. Appreciate the encouragement, the reminders, the scripture. And I'll see y'all next video. Say what's good to your boy.